Hello, Thomas Lillywhite here, and I'm chatting with a very good friend of mine, Sam Hutchinson, all about his debut album, Next Stop Tomorrow. So, Sam, how are you feeling? I mean, debut album, what does that feel like?
Oh, it's amazing, really good. I'm really excited to get it out. It's been a long time coming. It's great to now finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I appreciate the time obviously to chat about it.
Yeah, so how does one even start? Where do you start off with, just from scratch, writing and creating a debut album?
Good question. I don't know, where do you start? It's a long process. It took a long time. I've really worked on these songs over the past maybe 6 years, making sure that I've got that singer-songwriter style down. I didn't want to be a quick rush song and take it to production. I really wanted to sit with them and make sure what the songs spoke about was what I was feeling at the time. And again, like, I'm so happy with the production, so happy with what we've done with them. It took a long time to get there, but I wouldn't have done it any other way.
So you've been recording the album, has that been with Space Kid Records?
Yeah, so we work with Space Kid Records. Nigel, Passey, my really good friend, runs the record label there. And we spent a lot of time kind of getting some ideas down. Originally, the songs wanted to come across as like a cinematic kind of feel. So we worked with some piano ideas, some acoustic guitar, and then just like a rough take on vocals. And I thought nothing of it. I thought these are the kind of songs I want to work with and have them like stripped back. And delicate, I think that word would be a good way to describe them. But then we spent a lot more time on them. We took a bit of a break and came back to them and thought, would these songs work better? A little bit more anthemic, a little bit bigger. And then at the end of the whole process, we kind of walked away with 8 solid big songs, really.
So you've mentioned working with Nigel Passey. So you have worked together on a different project, if I'm correct, HotLiquorTank.
Yeah.
So how does that differ, working and writing with somebody else in a band and then on your own?
It's completely different. The whole concept of writing with someone else in comparison to writing on your own is completely different ends of the spectrum. When you've got someone else in that room, you can bounce ideas, say, does this work? It's always someone there to reality check yourself, really, and be like, I don't think it needs that, or it doesn't need this. Whereas when you're on your own, it's very vulnerable. You can kind of be sat there and think, is this right? Is anyone going to like this? There's no one to kind of talk to and feedback with. So yeah, it's different, but there's beauty in both of them.
And how do you get over that hurdle of, just kind of, you've only got yourself, you don't have anybody else to bounce off of.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
It's very much, again, it goes back to being vulnerable. Like, I'll sit in a room, I'll be feeling a certain way. It could be an objective kind of feeling, something I've seen from a third-party point of view, or something I'm going through. I'll write a song and sit with it and think, does this lyric match? 9 times out of 10, your songs do just kind of come out, but then sometimes you can be really trying to push for a song, and those kind of songs never really sit with you or stay with you because you're forcing lyrics out. Like, I'm very disciplined. I've always said I keep the tap dripping when I'm writing songs. Very disciplined in picking the guitar up, but also disciplined in putting it down, because if there's nothing coming to you, there's no point trying to force something. It's got to feel natural, especially as a songwriter. There's nothing worse, in my opinion, than trying to force a song out. It's got to come from the heart.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of going into this as a fresh slate with the new album, did you kind of come into this with any other genres or influences? So, or was it just a completely fresh take for you?
I've always been influenced by a plethora of different bands. Growing up around Brit rock, so bands like Snow Patrol, Stereophonics, Oasis. But this album was completely different, if I'm brutally honest. I've done previous songs with previous bands and HotLiquorTank, which draw influence from these kind of bands. But this album originally was driven more like that songwriter style, that Bob Dylan, Neil Young, like guitar and vocals originally, like I say. We've built them more up now to become something a little bit more anthemic, which has drawn influences from bands like Snow Patrol and Stereophonics, and Goo Goo Dolls was a big inspiration for a couple of the songs. But yeah, so it's changed. It's gone from being this stripped back cinematic record to something now that I feel can stand on its own 2 legs.
The influences you've just spoke of there are very specific music influences. What about like outside influences? I mean, you said you've been creating this thing for essentially 6 years, so that's quite a long time for things in real life to happen. So is there any sort of outside influences that have helped shape this album?
Well, the whole title of the album, Next Stop Tomorrow, come from me being someone that's gone through life, and I'm very much a person that'll be like, oh, what's next? Or what's happening tomorrow, rather than being in the moment and being like, oh, this is great, I'm really enjoying this. So the whole title, Next Stop Tomorrow, is like always looking forward and not necessarily sitting in the present and being like, look what you've done, do you know what I mean? A lot of the songs on there are similar. Fly As You Fall is a song very much about accepting failure and understanding that if you are going to fail, that's okay. That you learn from that, and flying as you fall, like making the most out of failure, is an important lesson. You can't, if you don't learn from a mistake, it's not being worthwhile. Do you know what I mean? Going on tour, we did a mini tour with Nigel for his solo stuff that he was doing a couple of years back now. He asked me to play lead guitar. Got me to learn 22 songs in 2 days, I think it was. But do you know what? The best decision I made, absolute best decision I ever made. Managed to do it. I was at uni at the time, and I just skived 2 days off uni. I was like, no, I want to do this, man. This is important to me. Do you know what I mean? Granted, uni was as well, but I had to do this. So we did the tour, and in a bus, it was brilliant. Proper got to see the world firsthand for the first time with one of my best mates, but doing something that I loved. It wasn't just, oh, we've gone on holiday, or we've gone for a wander to another town. It was, oh, no, we're going to do some work. We're going to play a gig and then go to the next city and do the same. And some of the stuff you saw, like I wrote an EP called Stick to the Script back in 2023. And that's all about that tour. That was all very much about what we saw, or what I saw really, because that was my first experience of being on the road. Sticking
with that Next Stop Tomorrow, you kind of talked about how that name came about, but was that an easy kind of, did it just come to you, or?
It was, I said this in a post on Instagram the other day. I was in Paris, and I wrote the finishing song on the album, What's the Time in Paris, funnily enough. And we were getting the train originally to Bairstow, I think it was. And on the walls in the train station, it translated to Next Stop Tomorrow. And at the time I was looking for a title. Originally the title of the album was Summer Rain, because I thought, that's quite cool. In retrospect it's not, but looking back now, that as soon as I saw the title I thought, that means something instantly. I went to the whole, you don't live in the moment. You really need to start living in the moment. And it was weird because, again, being in Paris at the time, I was like, where are we going now? What's next? What can I go see? And I saw that and I thought, appreciate the fact that you're in a different country. As a young lad, you're enjoying yourself. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, that needs to be the title. It's got to be.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any kind of aha moments as you were creating this that kind of stuck out, that you were on the right path and it was all going well, and kind of to stick with it?
Good question, really good question. Like I say, originally, because the songs were meant to be this cinematic piece, I didn't expect much from them, but there was one song on Piece of Me and You, it's called, which is track 4, I think. Plugging the album there. Track 4, and I took it to Nigel, and I'd played some rough piano. I don't really play piano, I can dabble with a bit here and there, but Nigel's the pro in that respect. So I took it to him and said, I really want to turn this into something quite anthemic. I wanted to add a string selection, some good BVs, and he played this piano part, and there's a little riff when it goes, I can't think off the top of my head, I'm definitely not going to do it on camera, but there was a part where he played and I thought, that's good, man, that's really good. And we said, how could we implement that into the other songs? And he kind of, if you listen to the songs, each song's got a little riff in it. It's got something delicate with the piano as well as the bass line chords.
Quick question, favourite song on the album?
Oh, why would you do this to me? It's probably got to be Fly As You Fall, just based on the story behind it. That was the first song I wrote that went on the album. Yeah, I won't say too much about the meaning, because that's for you guys to go and figure out, but it's got a lot of underlying meaning for me. It was a hard song to write. I listen to it now and I'm glad that chapter's over and done with. Originally it wasn't meant to be the single. We were going to have Next Stop Tomorrow come out as the first single, and then Summer Rain as a second. But I changed it and I thought that song really stands tall for what the album was about. So yeah, that's a standout one for me.
Mm. So finally, when is the album out and how do people get it?
The album Next Stop Tomorrow is out on the 7th of November 2025. You can stream it now through the link in my bio and on any streaming platform. Go stream it.